10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Through Black and White Eyes. Just got my coffee made in time and got live right on the dot. It's been one hell of a day, one hell of a couple of days. But we're nearly finally at match day. I cannot wait. Liverpool are breathing down our necks. Ahmad is in the chat saying, good luck for the show, but not for the game, basically, is what he's saying. I don't blame him. Liverpool, big win today. 6 points behind us now, I believe, which makes it even more interesting. Roger says, huge game tomorrow. I'm buzzing like an electric fish. No guarantees granted, but I see a 2-win. I'm the same. Hope you're right, Roger. Hey up, Baz, anyone watching the Wrexham match? No, I didn't realise they were on, but they're promoted, aren't they? They're going to do it. Evening, Roger. Evening, Craig. 2-2 in Black White Army. Bazzason says Ian. And we've got Blade in the background. So before I bring him in, very quickly, please hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the show. And hit the thumbs up as well if you don't mind. Thank you to everyone who is a member. This still hasn't been updated. I apologise, but you get the drift. I'm going to get it updated and you all get a shout out. And next month's prize, Shea Given, signed Newcastle shirt, donated by Mark. Great prize. Can't wait to give it away to one lucky member. So hit the link at the top of the chat. Become a member. If you'd like to donate to the channel, it's completely up to yourselves. $sign in the bottom right-hand corner. Every little helps. It helps keep the channel running, and it helps to go towards the prizes and also the bit towards charity as well. Evening, Steve, and evening, Les. Right. Blades and the Hoos.
You all right?
How's it going?
Not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Good. Yeah, good, man. Two overtime shifts done, knackered. At the match tomorrow, then back to work on Monday. Fun and games. Leslie says, even though, please like and subscribe, share the socials, and help the channel grow. Blade is Roger. We are moving back up again, which is nice. Slowly but surely, we'll get there eventually. Evening, Phil. Thanks for joining. And Leslie says, hey, Mogul. Right, a couple of things to go through before we jump into the game. Obviously, there's two big fixture changes and also the rearranged fixture for Brighton's finally been announced. It's Thursday, the 18th of May, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. It's live on Sky. Get it in your diaries, guys. And the Leicester game's been moved to a Monday night. I'm absolutely devastated. I don't think I can go to that game anymore when I was able to go on the Saturday, which is a right pisser. But these things happen. You've got to live with it. Jobs come first and all that sort of stuff. But get it in your diaries, guys. Monday, the 22nd of May, 8 p.m. kickoff live on Sky Sports. Before we talk about the game, there's a couple of things that have... But actually, there's one main thing that popped up on Twitter, which I thought was really fascinating. And in all my times being a Newcastle fan, Blade, I have never seen this. I have never seen Newcastle fifth in the least goals conceded at this time of a season. It's an incredible feat, and it shows you that all those rumours of Eddie Howe not being able to defend have gone right out the window. The defenders we bought, everyone thought, why we're buying Dan Burn? Why we're buying Trippier at that age? Botman, unknown in the Premier League. Not a lot of people knew who he was until we started talking about him. Shaw looked like he was finished after he was bruised. And buying Nick Pope for 10 million, you assemble all that together and you've got the fifth best defence in the entire European leagues.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it starts higher up the pitch as well. It's not just the back five; it's the whole 11 on the pitch. I mean, the energy we've got with the press, when to press players like Longstaff, who gets a lot of stick, which I don't understand because he does the dirty stuff well.
Yeah.
Right down to that established back five. And you can see why Eddie always struggles with, is it time to bring Target back in over Burn when we're sitting fifth in that table? Do you want to change that back five?
Well, we'll come on to that very soon. Phil says, and Blade, because he said evening Baz. Andy's in the house. Nice to see Andy in the chat there. Even all watching Wrexham, what a story. I'll annoy you all in a bit. Let us know what the score is, because I'm not watching it, and it is a hell of a story. Hollywood actor taking over a football club, didn't even like football, and now he's gripped by it. And I watched the Notts County game when they saved the penalty in the last minute, and you know, it's that's football, isn't it? No VAR getting involved. You know, it was actually a brilliant game to watch. I only saw the second half. I'm glad I missed the first half by the sounds of it. The second half was really good. Did you see any of it yourself?
I saw Foster's YouTube bits on it. I didn't actually watch the full game, but yeah, I mean, Foster obviously well known for his Fozzcast, his cycling GK stuff. So he had it on that, and he had some back behind the scenes footage with Ryan Reynolds in the tunnel and stuff, congratulating them.
Yeah.
And Foster himself says like it was written like a Hollywood script for that save.
Yeah, it really was. And he hit it quite well, the penalty, to be fair. VAR might have got involved. He might have stepped off the line too soon. I saw it online. We'll struggle in Europe, but those stats we will see. I saw it online. We will struggle. We won't struggle in Europe. I don't think we will. The only way we struggle is if we don't buy enough players, and then the balance between the Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup, you know, Champions League, because I am saying Champions League because we're in those spots. It will become a little bit messy, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's 3-1 to Wrexham, apparently. So that, I mean, they're going up as champions. It's the only way to go up, isn't it? Wrexham's first goal was class. 4 minutes left and they're up. Happy days. Well, they're up when you're 3-1 up, you're up. Congratulations to Benfield as well. They won their last game of the season, 2-1 away from home. Happy days. Going to try and get a lot more involved with them next season. Hopefully going to be able to show you the goals and do a bit of commentary on it and stuff like that. So we'll wait and see, but we're trying. We've got a bit of a relationship going. So and they're a cracking little club. Rob Lee's young and got Wrexham's first. Yes, he's got 2 kids. Only one of them plays for Wrexham, though. They both played for Luton, didn't they?
Yeah, one's retired, I think. His eldest son's retired.
Oh, is he? Oh, well.
I think injury or something.
Oh, that's not good. Watch the Disney one. Great watch. If they win the series, 2 will be epic. I don't think I've seen that. It's on BT Sport 1. Thanks, Les. I'm a bit late now. There's only a couple of minutes left, isn't there? Pointless tuning in now to it. Yeah, it's Elliot Lee who's playing for them. Lasses did well in the week. Yeah, they won 8-0, didn't they? Yeah, cracking result.
Was that the actual result? Well, that was the development squad, wasn't it?
Yeah, development squad. But it's great that they're all starting to win. You know, that, like we've all said, Blade, every single time, to be a successful team with FFP, it's not only just the starting 11, it's under 23s, under 19s, then going into the women's team, getting them into the Champions League in the future, getting that. And someone give me a bit of stick for some strange reason, I don't know why, about the training ground facilities. I said, this is obviously going to put back the new training ground facilities that they want. And they want that because they want a 32,000-seater stadium for it, don't they? 32-seater stadium, because they want somewhere for the women to play, because that's the level they'll need if they want to reach the levels that they want to reach, basically. The plans are to get revenue in every single direction.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not only the women's team, but our young ones will be playing their matches on it as well. So you've got like everything under one roof then.
Yeah, exactly. And we can't keep using St James's Park because it'll cut the grass up and it'll make the pitch worse for the main team. And that's why you need outstanding facilities when it comes to the training. And it's not just about that. It's about the recovery times of players as well. That becomes faster. Bigger players will come to a team that has all this backroom stuff. No one wants to be dumping in a wheelie bin or in a paddling pool, do they? So, this is what I keep saying. If you're signing someone on 200 grand a week, you don't want them dumping in a wheelie bin to try and recover in an ice bath, do you?
If they've played like absolute rubbish and don't justify that 200 grand a week, then yeah, chuck them in the wheelie bin. See how they like that.
Sod that, chuck them in the Tyne. Or in the North Sea. Why does Ryan Reynolds look worried? Because he probably doesn't understand the implications of what's going on, to be honest with you. He's like an American where things like a 2-goal lead in America, like American football or baseball or something like that, can be wiped out in 30 seconds. Where in football, if you know what you're looking at and watching, you know you've won with 10 minutes to go when you're 3-1 up, when you're a big team like that. So he probably just doesn't understand it. Or as Roger puts, he's American. There's a pitch invasion, and Wrexham have done it. I love it. Would say in advance, don't watch Eddie's press conference, but one prior to this game where he was asked about coping with setbacks of Villa amazed me. Such classy response, yet showing some mettle. Honestly, we watched him week in, week out with the press, and we all stop and listen because he's that good. And there's hopefully a lot more of that to come with him. 15 years they've been out. Wow. Went to see the grandson today and had his twin strip on. That got him when he was born. It's finally fitting him now a year later on. Happy days, lads. Americans are crying. Of course they are. Good on them. Annoyed by the goals by Solo and Luis today. If they didn't get those in, it would be fantastic for us. I didn't see that, obviously being at work. I saw the result. I was like, fuck. But let's not look behind us. Let's look ahead. We'll look ahead and behind us a little bit soon. So here's the press conference reactions. So Eddie Howe, it's obviously first of all, this is the only quote I could find on Twitter from the Spurs one. Spurs aren't very good at doing what we do with our quotes. This is a bit of a team news update. We have Ben Davies back in part training, and we are confident legit can train for a full session tomorrow. And this was a day ago, so this was on Friday. Christian Stellini provides an update ahead of Newcastle Tottenham. That's all I got. He also said that going to St James's Park is one of the hardest grounds to go to and to play football and to try and quiet the crowd down. He's not wrong, is he, Blade?
He's not wrong, but he's got absolutely no chance of quieting that crowd down tomorrow. This is a Champions League fighter. That crowd is going to be going absolutely ballistic from minute one.
It's a massive 6-pointer. I can't wait to get going. A little bit of a stat for you. So Callum Wilson has been involved in 8 goals in the last 9 Premier League starts for Newcastle, scoring 6 and assisting 2. The Magpies have won 56% of their league games when Wilson starts this season, 9 out of 16. Only 1 defeat. I like omens and stats like that. I know a lot of people just think, well, it's just a stat. Who cares? We've got Isak. But sometimes when you look at things like that, and in a big game like this, he scored one of the goals at White Hart Lane, the Tottenham Stadium. And it was a great goal because he capitalised on a Lloris mistake and did what Isak did at Villa, didn't he? Not at Villa, at West Ham. When he lobbed the keeper from the distance, he basically put the ball into an open net. Looking at those stats, would you consider Wilson for the weekend tomorrow?
I'd keep it as it is, with Isak starting and then Wilson to come on, because it gives us options. Say we are, by some fluke, 1-0 down in the second half, then it just gives Eddie the choice to kind of bring Wilson on like for like, or bring Wilson on and play them both, just to give us some like a different dimension, like we did against West Ham.
Yeah, and Brentford. We also did it against Villa and it didn't quite work. But yeah, I like that. By some fluke, we go 1-0 down. How is the stats against Spurs at home? Think we will win, but I think we'll have had problems with them at home before. Richard, I'll go through all that. I was at record. I will go through all that near the end because I've got some. It doesn't read very well, to be honest with you. Goodbye, Baz and Blade. Hope you guys draw tomorrow. All the best for the channel and life aside. We'll be hitting the bed soon. Cheers, pal, man. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. Go and check out his channel if you want to watch anything about Liverpool. He's a nice guy. I was on his channel for the Carling Cup final or whatever you want, Carabao Cup final. And he jinxed me by going on there, I guess. Scenes at Wrexham are brilliant. Who cares about Wrexham? It's about Newcastle tonight. Right, Eddie Howe talking to the press. So hopefully the crowd, I mean, bearing in mind we've had 3 away games in a row. So this is why the fans are chomping at the bit to get back to St James's Park. So hopefully the crowd will have an impact. I'm sure we will. Like they've done in other games, the huge league games, the crowd have been magnificent for us and definitely carried us in certain moments. It's the kind of game where you're never sure it's going to go your way for 90 minutes, and there will be moments in the game where we need to be strong and compact together, and hopefully the crowd will help. What you got to remember as well, Spurs was our first game back at St James's Park when the takeover happened. And the crowd was electric that night. It didn't help. But Cabbage Heed was in charge, though.
Yeah. And Wilson did score the first goal.
He did.
It's just after that, what was it, 70 minutes? And like the whole entire squad just looked absolutely shattered.
Yeah.
It was obvious like Bruce has not got these lads fit one way whatsoever.
Exactly. Ended up 3-2 that game, which we'll go into a little bit later on. We got a fluke on goal, but that was the end of Cabbage Heed and the start of the Eddie Howe regime pretty much soon after, wasn't it? Eddie Howe and Sean Longstaff, obviously me and Blade totally recognise he's been a massive miss. We've defended him for God knows how long. It's nice to see. Well, it's not nice to see because we got beat last weekend, but it showed you how important Sean Longstaff is to our team. He's over his illness. He had some tonsillitis apparently, and I know what that's like. It absolutely kills you. The missus will probably say to me because she's pouring herself a drink, you're just a wimp when you're ill. And there we go. I'm just a wimp when I'm ill. Trained well this week. I've always maintained he's a hugely important part of our midfield, both in and out of the possession. He's a very intelligent footballer, so I think a lot of his off-the-ball work goes unnoticed, which it does, which is why he gets hammered because people don't see it sometimes. On the ball, he's got a really good way of keeping the ball for the team, which is invaluable quality. He's got an eye for a really progressive pass as well, as it helps us get through teams' structures. He's a little bit bigging him up there on the last few bits because we've seen him sometimes where he's very poor at passing, but we recognise the work that he does with his pressing. He leads the press, wins the ball back, gives it well. He has had his moments where we're thinking, oh God, here we go, not that Sean Longstaff again. We don't want to see those passes. But if you take him out of that Villa game, if you put him in that game, I reckon it could have been a different outcome because I don't think we would have played that badly.
Yeah, I mean, just the relationships he's got with the other players around him as well. I mean, the right-hand side's much stronger when Bruno, Trips, Miggy link up. But the reason Bruno can go and join and play those triangles is because Longstaff steps up and covers the work Bruno does. I mean, against Villa, we were, they looked shattered. But it was a shocking result, and we're getting battered down both flanks. With Longstaff in there, that doesn't happen.
Exactly. I mean, I've always said our best three midfielders, Willock, Joe Linton, and Bruno. Now I'm starting to think, how can you fit all four of them in rather than just dropping Sean? Because it showed you how much we missed him. Peter, such a huge game because if we win, not only do we go 6 points clear of Spurs, we go 8 points clear of Villa and 6 because of their draw today. Exactly. And then we go 9 points clear of Liverpool as well. And it's just kicking them away a little bit again, isn't it, Blade?
Yeah, I mean, plus the games are starting to run out now. So you've got 9 points with, we'd have 7 games to go. Liverpool, I think, would be on 6 games to go. So that's a hell of a swing. It's like a 50% swing, and we'd have to lose 50% of our games. Liverpool would have to win 100% of their games, and they'd need to score a hell of a lot of goals for the goal difference to matter. So I'm not worried about Liverpool. I'm not worried about Villa. Hammer Spurs tomorrow. Game over. Top 4 secured.
I wish I was that confident. Nice to see Kraft back in training. Horrible injury. He's doing well. He's confident about his recovery. I'm not sure we'll see him in the squad before the end of the season, but what we do hope is that he can implement him back into training very likely towards the end of the season. It's great to see him back. And do you know what it is? He's another success story under Eddie Howe, isn't he? Because we all called him Emil Crap. And when he was actually asked upon, when Eddie picked him, he actually looked quite strong as a third centre-back or as a stand-in right-back as well.
Yeah, Kraft was doing well. I mean, we're going to have to see how he comes back from the injury. It's not a good one to recover from, especially when kind of Eddie's system relies on his left-back and right-back to get up the pitch and back to cover a lot. So, yeah, we'll have to see how Kraft recovers. We know how Shearer was after, well, he had 2 of those injuries, but you never know how one of those injuries is going to affect you. But it's good to see Kraft back. Whether or not he'll stay around and whether or not he's a long-term option now that Ashby's kind of back to fitness. He started for the young'uns the other night, scored a goal,
good goal,
assisted for one. Yeah, I think we might see Kraft sort of fall out of favour a bit, even if he does get back fit.
But I mean, he could be used as a centre-back if we get rid of the cells as well. They've got to think about that. Yeah, it's an interesting one, and you're probably right. It's nice to see him back in training after such a horrific injury. A Kraft return next season will be a welcome player, according to Roger. That's another option, I suppose, but I suppose we need to be aiming bigger, don't we? Right, St. Maximum, the man who splits so many opinions every day of the week. One week we're like, yes, we're 100% want to keep him. The next week it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, not again. 2 weeks later, oh, we want to keep him again. He's amazing. And then again, fuck's sake, he's injured again. So Eddie Howe and Alan St. Maximum, we're not 100% sure on Maxi yet. There's not been a setback. It's just taken maybe a little bit longer than we initially thought. But with hamstring injuries, you have to be careful. Isn't that a setback? So it's not a setback, but it's just took a little bit longer than we thought. It's a setback, Eddie.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Maxi? I mean, it's we ask this nearly every 2 weeks, don't we? I mean, he was superb for 2 games, and then he showed you how much we missed him against Villa, because had he been playing, he probably would have had Ashley Young on toast. But then again, would have I risked him in a Tottenham game when we probably might need to defend a little bit more than what we would have done against Villa potentially if St. Maximum was playing? I probably would have dropped him for this game, to be honest with you. But is his time running out?
Yeah, I mean, we did something in the banter chat on Twitter, didn't we, where we looked at how many games he's actually played for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And his injuries are getting worse and worse. I mean, once you've got hamstring problems, you've got hamstring problems throughout your career. It's one of those injuries that you want to avoid for as long as humanly possible in your career, because once you get them, they just keep recurring, especially when Maxi plays his explosive change of pace, his change of direction. He's just going to keep doing it. So is it time to cash in? I would say it is, before he becomes such an injury liability that he has no value.
Yeah. And I wouldn't want to sound to another Premier League club, though. I'd want him to go abroad. And that's just me being selfish. But honestly, I've said this for a while. He'd be better off in Spain or in Italy, where the climate's hotter. He probably won't get as injured as much. And also the games aren't as fast and furious as the Premier League games. Yeah,
I agree. Warmer climate, slower paced games. He'd shine abroad for any club. If they were willing to take the risk on his injuries, but as it's proven season after season, they're becoming more and more regular.
I smell a swap for Leo at AC Milan. Apparently, Man City want him, so I don't think we've got any chance of getting him. But there you go. Eddie Howe speaks to the media ahead of Sunday. It's a huge game for us. There's no denying that. At this stage of the season, the games are running out, and we're playing one of our competitors in the league. We're pleased to be at home and hope we can feel the force of the crowd. Like we say, it's just a massive, massive game. It's a 6-pointer. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than this. And I remember Spurs having to go to Man City and beat them to finish in the top 4. It feels as big as that at this point of the season, that if we beat them, top 4 is almost ours.
Yeah, it's getting this, what was Fergie's phrase, squeaky bum time in the running. Yeah. There are clubs chasing, they're picking up form, but I mean, Liverpool 3-2 v Forest. I'm
not worried about Liverpool.
They were lucky to win that. So, yeah, I'm not looking below Spurs, honestly. I think the top 4 at top 5, and when Spurs get battered 5-1 tomorrow, the top 4 is ours.
5-1. It's funny that you mentioned that. Swap for Diaby. I don't know if you go to Germany, though. I don't know.
Don't know, mate. Not that far from France.
Maybe. Good evening, Jabba. Thanks for joining us as always. ASM is available for 1 and 3 games and only turns up half of them. Talent isn't in question, but you can't rely on him. That's it, Leo all day. Talent and humble. Agree, Craig. It's starting to run out for me now. I like Maxi, but he's so injury prone. Time to cash in. Yeah. I think everyone's saying that now, aren't they? Oh, done that one. Delete. Next one. So Eddie Howe and Aston Villa defeat. It was uncharacteristic performance from us. We've been so consistent home and away, and we've not always won the games, but we've had certain hallmarks within the performance, and it was probably the first time. Basically, it was just a complete off day, wasn't it? Even when we've been bad, we've defended really well, and we didn't do any of that against Villa, did we?
No, I mean, everything just went wrong in that game. The thing I liked with Eddie's press conference was he was just, that's gone, we'll put it to bed. That wasn't us that turned up that day. We'll forget it, we'll move on. He said the players had responded well during training. He saw no signs of a negative mental effect on them. They were up for the Spurs game and back to business as normal. And being at home is going to be massive.
Yeah, I love it. All right, before we go into the second half of the show, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please hit the thumbs up. Doesn't cost anything. Please consider becoming a member. You get your name up in lights. I do need to update this. Link is at the top of the chat. There's also a donation button if anyone would like to donate to the channel. It goes back into the channel for prizes and the running costs, and then a little bit to charity when we can. And next month, amazing prize. Best wishes, share giving, signed, goalkeeper top. 1 lucky member will be basically celebrating with a lovely top. I think it's a great prize, man. I want to keep it for myself, but I'm not allowed. Every team had one really shit game this season, and Villa was ours. I'd say Villa, possibly Bournemouth at home as well. That was a really poor game. We were lucky to get a point that day. I don't think we were on it at all. There was a couple of draws that were really bad, wasn't there? Max has already played in Germany at Hanover, 96 on loan. Oh, there we are. Evening, lads. Thanks for joining, pal. Again, I just don't see Maxi going back to Germany. I just don't know. I would think somewhere a bit warmer than Germany. I don't know what's temperatures like in Germany.
They're pretty similar. Us, France.
Yeah, well, we might fancy Germany again.
We'll sit along kind of the same line of the equator. So we're on the equator. I just forgot the name of the lines that run.
Yeah, longitude and latitude. Love it. Right, team news. Basically, we've only got 2 players out, Maxi and Kraft, as we know about. It's really weird just talking about 2 players being injured, because normally we have a massive list. But look at Tottenham's list: Bentancur, Basuma, Davies, Emerson Royal, Ryan Sessegnon, who destroyed us when he played for Fulham at St James's Park, by the way. Leglet is potentially, and Mora is suspended after his horrific tackle last week. This is how SofaScore have Spurs lined up, going with a 3-4-3. Every time I look at their team, I just wonder why they're so poor, because they've actually got one of the best strike forces in the Premier League. I mean, they've got Harry Kane playing for them, who's just been excellent all season. If you take Harry Kane out of that team, and they're screwed. It's as simple as that. But then I look at the defense. They've got Tanganga, who's a prospect from their youth development, hasn't pushed on like everyone thought he would. Eric Dyer is shocking as a defender. He's probably better as a DM, to be honest with you. And even then, he's sometimes a bit of a nightmare. Romero, again, not great. Lloris, he's had his mares this season. And you look at the midfield, Skip still getting in the team. I mean, is there any, other than Harry Kane, is there any, and Humming Son, obviously, them two are deadly at times, but, who else worries you in that team?
Only Kulusevski. He tends to like playing really well against her. But yeah, I mean, if Spurs didn't have Harry Kane this season, they'd be mid-table at best.
Exactly. They're absolutely shocked. I mean, is it Conte's fault? He's obviously walked out on them.
Well, it's the defensive style to play. It's like us under Bruce. He puts so many men behind the ball and tries to rely on a counter-attack when a 3-4-3 and Spurs' attacking players aren't set up to be a defensive team to play on the counter. They should be playing like we do, but they don't, and that is Conte ball. But Spurs knew that when they went after Conte.
Yeah,
they knew the style of football would be rubbish. Yeah. And then Conte leaves. So instead of going and getting somebody that would have brought a bit of feel-good factor, like Pochettino, they give the job to bloody Conte's number 2, who plays exactly the same style as his best mate Conte.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, Danny Levy they're never going to win anything under him, are they really?
I mean, they might get like a Carabao Cup, something like that. We saw this season that if you get a favourable run, you can make a Carabao Cup final pretty quickly.
True.
But if they're going after the big stuff, no. I mean, they've spent so much money as well. And you just think, why have you bought all this offensive unit and play so negatively? Yeah. Makes no sense.
Pochettino would be perfect going back there, but he's turned them down, hasn't he? Apparently he's favourite for the Chelsea job now. I mean, who wants to go there? Or everyone's up for sale, apparently. Les, thank you so much for the super sticker. It's very, very kind of you. And also the same for Jabber as well. Thank you so much for the £5 super chat. I think we'll win 5-1. Botman trips Isaac, hat-trick, Kane, VAR. I like it. I'm going strong 5-2 win for the two and me. This will be your response to the Villa defeat 5-2. That's a scoreline and a half. They reckon that Gemma will start for Kulusevski, possibly. Hopefully Kane is a shocker and wants us to win and we can play Champions League with us next season when we sign him. I like it. Let's hope so, Mogul. As a Swede, Kulusevski is brilliant during periods in some games, but he's pretty shite most of the time. Was the same at Juventus and Parma and is the same in Sweden and Spurs. There we go. It's interesting. That'd be mint. I'd buy Bowley for $1. Oh God, no one wants Bowley near their team. I'd buy him over Rice, and Rice is my ultimate buy. Interesting. Right, this is what I've gone for the Newcastle team. A bit controversial, I think, because I've dropped Burn and I'm playing Target for this game. I think it's time Target is given a chance now. I think Burn needs a rest. He's been brilliant, but he's not a left back. He is a centre back. And I just think it's time that Target is given another chance. The the three in midfield pick themselves with Longstaff being back. Willock and Joe Linton will either switch. I mean, but they'll interchange in the game anyway because that's what they do. And I think Miggy will come back in as well, and Gordon will drop to the bench, and also Murphy. And I think Isak will keep his place. It wasn't his fault we were poor against Villa. He actually created 2 decent chances for himself. So that's the team I'm going with. Do you think I'm close, Blade, or do you think he won't drop Burn and you'll keep him in?
Yeah, well, you're reading my mind. Yeah, Target's the only one I think. I think he'll keep Burn in just for the aerial height. Because we know Kane's good at set pieces, crosses coming in. So I think Eddie will want like the 3-man massive units in there just to defend that.
I can't remember Target against Spurs, to be honest with you, but I just think with Kulusevski's pace and the way that Burn has struggled a little bit recently with pace, and people have noticed that with Bowen really doing them. Bailey for Villa, was it Bailey? Or no, it was that.
Was new for Villa.
And there was another one for Brentford, that's Sean or whatever he was called, the other striker. He was all over Burn as well. I just think it might be time to pull him out of the firing line for a game and throw Target in. But like you say, his height is invaluable when it comes to the defensive side of things. So it's a tricky one. 5J7 in the middle, Willock front left. Like I say, them two will interchange anyway, regardless, won't they, Blade? They don't really play in where you start them. You always see them switching all the time, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, Eddie loves the adaptability of players. Those two switch. You see it on the right as well. Like Bruno will go right, Longstaff comes over. Willock sometimes goes to the left. Bruno comes more central, steps in, fills the gap. Yeah. Which is if Joe Linton starts, then that's why I think he sticks with Burn, because Joe Linton's going to stop Burn getting exposed for pace, because Joe Linton will stop that move before it happens.
Yeah. There's a potential. I just want to see Target going past. You know what I mean? He's a bit quicker. But there we go. It's just its opinions, and that's the whole point of this. Are Spurs victims, or are they shite and total failures? Says Jabba. It's a good question. Are they just total failures, or are they playing a way that doesn't suit the players that they've got? I think we kind of touched on it already, that it's probably Conte's fault because of the style of play.
Yeah, you can't ask an offensive-minded team that's been built and assembled to be offensive and on the front foot play a defensive counter-attacking game. They haven't got the pace needed for a successful counter-attack. Even Kane slowing down. I mean, when you see Kane drop back, sometimes behind his own midfield, to play as a CDM just to get a touch of the ball, you know something's drastically wrong.
Yeah, he does it for England as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, now something's drastically wrong with England.
Terry says very poor this season. Thanks for joining the chat, Terry. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button if you don't mind, pal. But yeah. But that's what I think. We'll see what happens. I mean, we're only going to wait till tomorrow. I can't wait. But I don't think I'll be far off. Probably maybe Burn, probably the only one I might get wrong. But I think everything else will be right. Miggy seemed to be fine when he came on against Villa and should have scored. He seemed to be a bit more energetic down the right-hand side when he came on. So do you see him just slotting straight back in?
Yeah, I mean, Eddie was a bit coy in the press conference one. He says, yeah, Miggy's been training, quite well, like Miggy does, as you'd expect. Yeah, I think Miggy's a shoo-in to be back on the starting 11.
Yeah, I do too. Love Miggy. Right. Some stats for you. Going into the good stuff. Newcastle won 4, lost 1. Obviously, we know what the loss was. Spurs, very indifferent, 1-2, drawn 2, lost 1. Only 3-point gap, though, which is just mental when you think about it. People have been voting to see who's going to win. 51% think it's going to be a home win, 23% think a draw, and 26% think an away win. So it is quite tight with that. My favourite stats, head-to-head, Newcastle 7, 2 draws, and Spurs 11. 11, guys. That is terrible. Odds, though, I love this. When we're 83 to 100, we normally should be winning the games 55% of the time, but we actually win them 78% of the time, which puts us in a bit of a favourable position. Spurs, when they're 16 to 5, they should be winning 24% of the time, but they do actually win 33% of the time. So they are a little bit ahead of their percentage as well, but we're well ahead of our percentage, which is nice to see. I like little stats like that. Very poor season, Terry, but on what? 23 goals, yeah. I mean, 23 goals for any striker is amazing. Signing Kane has thrown 100 million away with no chance of return. He's at an age where if he had a serious injury, he'd be finished. Big risk. Let him go to Man U. It's dangerous letting him go to Man U. Very dangerous. I see what you're saying, but I mean, you could probably get 4 or 5 years out of Harry Kane, couldn't you?
I'm not convinced. I think Craig might be onto something there.
Yeah.
Kane's been lucky in his career so far regarding injuries. And he's at that age now where he is going to start picking some up, especially the way he plays, like being sort of one of the older style number 9 target men. He is going to start taking knocks. And when they do happen, I think they're going to keep him out for a period of time, not a couple of weeks. It's going to be long-term injuries.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. He looks after himself very well. Yes, he's been a little bit lucky. He's not really got like a serious injury, but you say that's luck, but it could just be the way that he plays the game and the way that he looks after himself as well. One of those ones, isn't he? But I don't think he can go for 100 million now. I think he's past that value stage now. And I just don't think Levy will sell him to a Premier League club, to be honest with you. Do you have any metal Newcastle United crests? No, none of them left. Steve might still have some of his personal stash. Find him on Twitter. Drop me a message on Twitter. I'll put you in touch with him, and he might have some left, but we don't have any left now. 78 is a good number. 78. What's 78? 78%. Yes. I think that's what he means. King goes down before anyone can tackle him. Well said, Leslie. It's actually very true. I'm sick of that backing in when defenders jump to win a header. That's so dangerous. I'm sick of it when he does that. Guys, get all your predictions in while we go into the next part of the show. We're nearly finished. Let's have a look at the run of results. Now, that's not very happy reading for us. 3-2 was obviously the first game the owners were back, and the scoreline flatters us a little bit because it should have been about 5-1, 6-1 or something like that. We were absolutely shocking. We had a man sent off as well. But it is what it is. We have to go all the way back to 2016 when we got relegated under Rafa Benitez, when we won 5-1 when Mitrovic got sent off. That's how long it's been since we've actually won at St James's Park against Spurs. So they've won 4, drawn 1, lost 1 in the last 6 games. So that just shows you they've got a bit of the wood over us at the moment, and you have to go back all the way again to 2012 before you see another win, and then 2008 before you see another one. So Spurs have definitely got the wood over us on at St James's Park at the moment. But do you know what happens, Blade, when you see run of results like that? The laws of probability. We're going to win.
We're going to batter them. I mean, like, if you look at the squads we've had over those run of results, it's no wonder we got beat. But you could pick any team in the Premier League during Ashley's reign, and they'd all have a similar record against with at St James's.
True, very true. Often Man U King, because you won't win fuck all with us. For me, 75 to 80 million. There you go. Even Terry thinks he's not worth 100 million now. Can't see us dropping 100 million a player, but if we did, I expect it to be Bellingham or Osimhen before Kane. I agree with that. I'm going to leave the results bits there. I'm going to ask you first of all as well, before we go into the results, what was your favourite Spurs game at St James's Park?
My favourite one probably was that relegation season because they came up, the fans were taking the piss and were absolutely played them off the park.
And Sam.
Yep, and even today on Twitter, they're still crying about that result. Yeah. Did you not see the official Spurs Twitter account? There's not one of them on there. Expect them to win tomorrow. One of them's predicting 10-0.
I mean, we're good, but we're not that good.
Yeah, I agree with that. 10-0's a bit of a stretch, but I think the funniest comment I read on it was one guy who went, "Doesn't it just boil your piss that Kieran Trippier is the captain of a top 4 club? We've since spent something like 156 million on right backs to not have one as good as Kieran Trippier."
That is a brilliant stat. I love stuff like that. I'm going way, way back for my favourite game against Spurs, and I'm going 96-97 season when we absolutely battered them 6-1 at St James's Park. Shearer scored 2, Ferdinand scored 2, Rob Lee scored 2, and Philly Balbert scored the other. That was my favourite game. And I missed the first goal because I was late from getting out of work. But I still saw 5. I saw 6. I saw them get a consolation as well. I think Ian Walker was in goal that day and he just couldn't kick the ball to save his life. And I think that's what everyone figured out.
Part of Walker's decline, wasn't it? Didn't he sort of lose his spot in the England setup after that?
Yeah, he did.
Because not long after that game, he had the howler where he let the ball go through his hands, didn't he, and into the back of the net on England duty. So, yeah, we probably destroyed his career that day.
Well, Shearer did, Ferdinand did, yeah, we absolutely battered them that game. I remember Shearer's volley when he ran through 2 of them on his chest and then smashed it in. I was like, yes, that's why we bought him. That's a long time ago, though. Roger's going 3-1. Graham's going 3-1. It's not for me. It's for my uncle who has Downs. All right, pal. Well, drop me a message on Twitter or however, and I'll put you in touch with Stephen. If he's got any, he'll be able to sort you out one, because I literally don't have any now. 4-1 Isaac. 4-1 Isaac 2. Big Joe and Longstaff. Longstaff to hit the target eventually. Roger, I hope he does. Bad FI. Bad from Terry. It's not bad from Terry. 6-1 2000. Do we beat them 6-1 in 2000 as well? I can't remember that one. I'm going to have to Google that. Is that the FA Cup replay? Yeah. 1999, December 22nd. Newcastle United 6, Tottenham 1. Can't remember that one. It's like Warren Barton's playing in it as well. There you go. Love you, Roger. Would anyone not fancy seeing Eddie play 5 at the back with Target and Burn? No. Let's not start talking about playing 5 at the back again. We had so many conversations about that. Likewise, Terry. My favourite League Cup semi-final, second leg, 1976. You have to tell me a little bit more, Graham, because I was -5. Having a laugh there. Mine at St James's was the 4-1 win. Obviously, that was Spurs 1, winning 4-1. That old wooden stand was bouncing. Yes, you did. And I was close. I can't remember that one, the 6-1 in 1999. I really can't. I'm going to have to watch that on YouTube when I've finished doing this now. I love a hammering of anyone, to be fair. That might have been when Kitspire scored. And Shearer got 2 that day as well, I think. I
can't remember that game.
No, can I? Normally I'm pretty good at stuff like that, but no. 96, 97 was my one, though, because it was just, that was the entertainers. Right, what's your prediction, Blade? Are you still going 5-1?
Yeah, I'm going 5-1. And that's only because Kane's on the pitch, otherwise it would be 5-0.
Brilliant. I love it. I'm going 2-1, personally, myself. I'm going to start a bit of a silly, fun competition for all you viewers. I want you to find me once a week and send it to me either on Twitter or via email or through the channel, however you do it. But find me the best fan footage goal you can find. And then if we can afford a prize, we'll give a prize for the best one. I'm going to start it off because I found probably the best assist I have ever seen in a long time, to be fair. I've just got to find it. Video file. It's not given the finger. Here it is. Let's hope it plays, because this is the best assist I have ever seen in my life. And it was just so good. I think I've seen it before, but let's see if it plays. Oh, it's not playing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Jeff. Try again. No, it's just, what a nightmare. I don't know if you've seen it. Honestly, the bit of skill that he produces to do it is absolutely incredible. No, doesn't want to play on there either. I think I've wrecked it. Absolutely gutted. Does it play on this thing? Oh, incredible. It plays while it's in camera, but doesn't play when I download it. That's just mental. Right, let's see if you can see it. Hopefully, I'm going to go into a large screen. And let's see if you can see this. I've got to take the bloody frigging screen off, haven't I? Right, none. Right, can you see that all right? That bit of skill, just watch that again. You've got to admire it. Done 3 defenders in 1 turn and then set his mate up absolutely brilliantly. So, bit of fun for you guys to try and find the best fan footage goal that you can find and send it in to me, because fan footage can't be copyrighted. Yay! But I can't believe I didn't play. I downloaded it and everything. 12-second clip. But it was just a phenomenal turn. So if anyone can beat that, you might win a prize. It will be up to the panels to decide. I'll have to work out a panel now. Top 4 for me gone, so I really hope you take our place. Thanks, Terry. That's nice. Nice of a Spurs fan to say that. We won 3-1 in 76. I was in the wooden stand, and believe me, it was moving. Sounds good. Spot the ball, yeah. I can't believe I didn't play. I'm absolutely devastated. But honestly, I'll put it on Twitter, so anyone follows me on Twitter, you can see it. But it's one of the best bits of skill I've seen in a long time, to be able to do 3 players the way he did. Right, let's have a look at the league table. That's the most important last bit of the show. There's us sitting in 4, 3 points behind Man United with the same amount of games played at the moment. Spurs have played 1 more game than us, and they're 3 points behind us. This is why it's such a huge game. We win tomorrow. We go above Man United on goal difference, and we put the pressure back on them. And let's face it, after the way they got hammered by Sevilla, their arses might start to twitch again. We beat Spurs. We go 6 points ahead of them. We got 8 points ahead of Villa, 9 points ahead of Liverpool, and it just deflates them a little bit more. Blade, have you got anything to add to that? Or have I nailed it?
No, you've nailed it. I mean, Liverpool might be on a bit of a run, but let's face it, they're going to lose like at least a couple of more games before the end of the season. Villa, get the sweary words with them lot. Had enough of them on Twitter. And they're just not as good as they think they are. Spurs, yeah, they're going to be lucky if they finish 7th at this rate. Man U, yeah, we're going to catch them.
Yeah.
Top 4 as it is, not in that order, but the top 4 will stay as it is now. Yeah. And if you notice, the bottom 3 are what I've been predicting.
Well, I haven't got the table at the bottom, because obviously we're not playing anyone at the bottom of the table, but I'll have a quick look at it, because it is very interesting after today's results. We'll normally cover this on the Premier League review. Fulham are completely safe, as we know. Leeds, obviously getting beat, still 5th from bottom because of that. Leicester have pulled themselves out of it, but dropped Everton and Forest into it. and Southampton still rock bottom, even though they got a great point at Arsenal, and Arsenal have probably blew the league because of that. It is so interesting. And I mean, that's a huge win for Leicester. And it's a bad win for us because obviously we want to poach a few of their players.
I think that happens regardless. I mean,
Yeah.
Leicester aren't recovering from that. What, they still haven't... Have they got a permanent manager yet? Do you have another?
No, I don't think so.
And I mean, it's a tough ask. Like, Leicester needs a full rebuild. There's something wrong with that squad. But if you think Tielemans has got free, a couple of our other players are going to be gone, it needs a rebuild, and the owner either needs to sell or fall back in love with football.
Yeah.
I know it was his dad's thing, the whole love of football, and the son never quite really got it. And then obviously the tragedy of him losing his dad in such a horrible way. I think his love's just gone, and I think he needs to sell up for his own good as well as probably for the sake of...
Yeah, definitely. Terry's asked if we're doing a live stream tomorrow for the game. After the game, I will hopefully be, as long as I'm back in time. I should be. It'll be around about 8, 8:15 again, because I am going to the game tomorrow, and I've got to travel on the train from York and back again. So I should be all right to do one. Shouldn't be a problem. But like you said, Leicester, there's the top half of the table again, though. Arsenal 5 points clear. Man City 2 games in hand. Obviously, they're in a cup final now as well. And like we say, the bottom of the table, very, very interesting. And let's see what happens. I can't live stream at the game. If you've ever been to St James's Park before, you know as soon as you get near it, your phone is as good as a brick because it just does not work. So no, unfortunately, I won't be live streaming it, but I will be live about 8:15 for the review. Hopefully Blake can join us, and hopefully Maro's better by then, or Gary's available, or Lindsay, depending how pissed she is after the game, to be fair. We know what she's like. She likes a good drink when it comes to football day. But that's the end of the show. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit that subscribe button if you have. Hit the thumbs up. And I say thank you to all the members who help keep this channel going. And don't forget, next month, that is the big prize. We're going to be giving away a Shea Given signed goalkeeper top. The only way you can be in it is if you remember. So hit that link at the top. It's 99p a month. That's all it is. And the more members we get, the more money we put back into the prizes, and we bring you bigger and better and more prizes, basically. That's the idea. This month we give away the Southampton ticket. Couldn't believe Nick and Caitlin bloody won it. But congratulations to them, and she'll be at the Southampton game. No, thank you, Leslie, for modding as always and doing a good job. And we will see you tomorrow night, hopefully celebrating a 6-point gap, 3-point win, and sending Tottenham crying home. Sorry, Terry. But yes, we hope we win tomorrow. And Blade's going 5-1, as remember. Just remember 5-1. He said it first. Get a bet on. Right. Good night, everyone. Take care till tomorrow.